Hi, my name is Salman Beg. Today we are going to install Oracle RAC for our disaster recovery site. We did create two nodes and done all prerequisites for Oracle cluster installation. Our node 1 is DRRAC1 and the other one is the DRRAC2. So in order to proceed with the installation, we have to connect as a grid user and run the installer. I did downloaded Oracle Software 11G R2. There are 7 zip files and I did unzip them, and they are in directory name installer files. Because we are going to install the clusterware, we have to go to the directory name grid. By the way, grid is the combination of clusterware and ASM. So here we are good to run the installer. So here is our first screen. Skip software updates. Now we are going to install and configure the Oracle Grid infrastructure for cluster. It is correct. Moving forward. We don't want the typical installation, we want the advanced installation, so we have all the options with us so we can go step by step. Selected language English. Okay, so we have our cluster which is DRRAC, not cluster, we can give a name which is our DRRAC, and the scan is dr scan dot local domain dot net, port 1521. We are not using GNS. GNS is multicast DHCP, so we are not using in this particular installation. Okay, so here we have our node 1. We are going to add the second node, so it is drrac2.localdomain.net, and we have our VIP in there, so we added the VIP, which is drrac2-vip.localdomain.net as well. So we both have in here. We check the SSH connectivity. So grid is the user and the password is the grid user password to test the connectivity setup between the nodes. They can pretty much SSH. We are successful in this one, and we are moving forward to our installation. Here we have to select our private and public network. We have 192.168.0 scheme for our public network, and for our private network is 192.168.0, which is okay, so we can move forward. Here we are selecting the storage area for our OCR, Oracle Cluster Registry and Voting Disk. Oracle recommended to put in ASM your OCR and your voting disk, so we are moving forward with that. And here we have our candidate disks, which we already created as a prerequisite. We are selecting these disks and create a disk group called data. We are using external redundancy, having no failure group. However, for normal is 2 and for high is 3 or more failure groups we are using. So We are going with the external redundancy, and the AU size is a kind of block size for our disk group, but we are okay for now with 1 MB moving forward. So we are providing here a good enough password for our ASM, and moving forward. So we are not using the intelligent platform, which is IPMI, in this installation. Moving forward, these are the operating system group which we mapped. So our OS DBA group is actually ASM DBA group, which we created as a prerequisite. Our OS operator is ASM operator. We created that one also in the prerequisite, and the OS ASM is actually ASM admin, who can create and drop the disk groups. We move forward. This is Oracle base directory, and we have the Grid Software Home as well. So it is the Oracle inventory location, which is okay. Next. So it's doing some prerequisite check, and it's going to take a while, so you can just let it go. Okay, so these are the prerequisite checks which been done, and uh, it's actually giving me an option that I can fix these two warnings, which is showing me the clue disks package in the warning, and the other one is the device check for ASM. So as a fix, we have an option here which is called fix and check again. We click that one and see that what the suggestion he's giving us, and it's pretty much straightforward, saying that if you want to fix this one, run the script as a root user to each node. So we are going to do that. We are going to log on to our node 1 as root. So here is our node 1 su root, and connected as root. This is our node 1, and let's get this one here. This is the script. So it's running the prerequisite, and it's pretty much done. And the same thing we have to do for our node 2. So node 2 is right here, and we're going to connect from our node 2 with the root user, and okay, password, and then we have to run the same script here again. Okay, so it's done, and now we can move forward to our installer, saying yes, okay, we done that one. So he fixed it, and moving forward after the prerequisite checks. So it's almost 100%, and it's giving me the summary that the whole configuration settings he checked, and giving me the summary to continue. Okay, we got this one. We can save in a response file, and we can say that it's grid pre-check dot response file. We save that one, and okay, we are going to install. It will take a while, but we have to wait for it. 65%. Okay, so it's 76% and it's asking to run root sh, like the two scripts need to be run as root. It's mentioning here on each node. First one is the aura inst root sh. So we are going to our node 1 and yes, it's root. Run the first one on node 1 and the other one on node 1, which is that it's in the grid home root.sh ran, and when it's asking for the usr slash bin slash local slash bin search, yep, it is the correct path for our local bin directory, so it's okay. And it's creating the crest directory as well, so let's wait for it. Okay, OLR initialization successful. Root wallet search, root wallet. So it's in this initialization stuff. It's creating a directory for us and putting all those stuff in there. So have to wait for its completion. So it's still installing the CRS configuration parameters, adding entries to our init tab. Okay, so when it's adding this entries in init tab, like these all components are a part of cluster. These are component of cluster which are, in a stack fashion. It will start up one after the other and it will shut down one after the other on our system. Start up and shut down. So this is pretty much, you can say that very important step for the cluster, and it will be very helpful for us in the future when we are shutting down and starting up the cluster. the cluster where it's going step by step in the same way what we are looking right now. Okay, so the node 1 is up, ASM disk group. As we can see that ASM created and started successfully, disk group data created successfully. Creating OCR key for users, for user root privileges successfully, and the voting disk as well. Okay, so the voting disk is almost here, and it took a very long time for that, but it's okay. So the voting disk is there, and attempting to start the ASM on the first node. It's a little bit slow because of the memory and the I/O on our system. Okay, so it took a very long. It took a little while, but we can see here the configuration of grid infrastructure. It is successfully completed, and we can move forward for our second node. So node 2, first script, which is this one, we copy and we go to our node 2 because we ran successfully on node 1, and this is our node 2. We are very interested to see our user, which is root. Okay, so run the script. This is the script which we have to run. Let's copy this one. Okay, so this is the script. Okay, so this is our node 2 and the first script. It ran fine. This is our second script. And again the same question for our local bin directory, which is default usr local bin. Now it's creating the . setting up the configuration parameter for our ClusterWare. It's a little bit slow process, but will complete in a little bit. Because we are running that in our node 2, it's pretty much straightforward, saying that the daemon started and is registering. It's an active cluster found in our node 1. The node 2 is try to join, as you see in here. Okay, so we can see in here that this one is properly completed. It wasn't take very long time because we already set up lots of things in our node 1, and the second script which we ran, so we are pretty much good and we can move forward to say okay on the installer. So okay, we can now safely click the OK button. Just moving forward for the remaining part. It's 95% right now, and it's going to take a little bit more. Okay, so our grid infrastructure. Okay, so the installation completed successfully for our grid infrastructure ClusterWare, and we can safely close this one. Thank you very much for watching this video.